Hello and welcome. In this particular video, we will be talking about basic concept of supply under GST. As we know that word supply is very important in GST because the taxable event in GST is supply. If there is no supply, no GST will be applicable and the person will not be liable to pay GST if no supply is there. So here we will discuss what is supply, what are different items included in supply, what are the scope of supply, all these we will discuss here. So what is supply? The supply word has been expressed in the CGST Act 2017. The term supply has been expressed, not defined, has been expressed in CGST Act 2017, and same meaning of supply is there in IGST Act, UTGST Act and SGST Act. It means the same meaning of supply is there in all the acts of GST and as it is defined in CGST Act 2017. Section 7 and 8 of CGST Act deals with the concept of supply. So section 7 and 8 of CGST Act are important because section 7 and 8 of CGST Act deals with the concept of supply. Section 7 of CGST Act deals with the meaning and the scope of supply, whereas section 8 of CGST Act deals with the meaning and scope of composite and mixed supply. It means we discuss composite and mixed supply in section 8 and we discuss meaning and scope of supply in section 7. Here we will discuss section 7 first. So there are 5 important subsection in section 7 and that deals with the meaning and the scope of supply, and these are section 7 1a, section 7 1b, 1c, 1d and section 7 subsection 2. We will discuss all these one by one. Section 7(1)(a). As per section 7(1)(a), supply means all forms of supply of goods and services or both, like sale, transfer, barter, exchange, lease, license or disposal, made or agreed to be made. Here we need to remember all the forms of supply, whether there are sale or transfer or barter, exchange, whatever, but that should be made or agreed to be made. It means that can be related to the current event or may be related to the future event. Agreed to be made means future event, but that should be made for consideration by a person in course or furtherance of business. It means the two conditions need to be satisfied as per section 7(1)(a). It should be made for consideration, means in exchange of something, that could be money, that could be anything. In exchange of something, the transaction should be made, the supplies should be made. And the second point, second important thing is that it should be in course or furtherance of business. It means if we are supplying for free without charging any consideration, it will not cover under section 7(1)(a). In the same way, if we are supplying for personal purpose that is not related to the business, that will also not covered under section 7(1)(a). So to satisfy the meaning of supply as per section 7(1)(a), we need to understand two important points. The transaction should be done for consideration and the transaction should be done in course or furtherance of business. The transaction could be related with the sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, lease or disposable, that can be made for the current event or it could be related to the future activities. Then section 7(1)(b). As per section 7(1)(b), supply means import of services. Supply means import of services. Here we are not talking about import of goods. We are talking about only import of services, because import of goods are subject to the custom tax as per Custom Act. So here we are talking about only import of services. If such import is made for consideration, may or may not be in course or furtherance of business. It means supply should be made, import of services should be made for consideration, that may be related to business or may not be related to business. Suppose for example, I am going to make a house in India, but I am not taking services of architect in India. I am taking services of architect outside India. Suppose for example residing in Canada and I am taking services, I am importing services of architect from Canada to India. Here the house is for personal use, obviously house is not for the business use, and we are importing services, and this will liable to tax under GST because supplier is there outside India and recipient is there in India, but it should be made for consideration. It means in order to satisfy section 7(1)(b), the supplier should be outside India, the recipient should be in India, and we are importing the services only, not goods. We are importing the services only, and that import should be made for consideration that may or may not be related to business. It means that may be in course of business or may not be in course or furtherance of business. So the basic difference between section 7(1)(a) and 1(b) is that in case of section 7(1)(a) we have to satisfy both the conditions. It means transaction supply should be made for consideration as well as it should be related to in course or furtherance of business, whereas in case of section 7(1)(b) the supply should be made, the import of services should be made for consideration, but that may or may not be related to course or furtherance of business. Then section 7(1)(c). Section 7(1)(c) says about the activities liable to tax, about the activities liable to tax even if without consideration. It means we have number of activities that will be liable to tax even if these activities are undertaken without consideration. So the basic difference between section 1(a), (b) and (c) is that in case of section 1(a) we have to satisfy both the condition. It should be done for consideration and related to business. Section 7(1)(b) is talks about only it should be done for consideration, may or may not be related to business, whereas in case of section 7(1)(c) if we are doing some activities, even if without consideration, that activities will included under the term supply. There are certain activities described in Schedule 1 of CGST Act that we need to remember. The certain activities are described in Schedule 1 of CGST Act. If these activities are done without consideration, will be liable to GST, but it should be done in course or furtherance of business. It should be done in course or furtherance of business. So we have 4-5 list of activities as per CGST Act, as per Schedule 1 of CGST Act. If these activities are undertaken without consideration but will be liable to GST, but these activities should be in course or furtherance of business. Then section 7(1)(d). Section 7(1)(d) is related with Schedule 2 of CGST Act. Section 7(1)(c) is related with Schedule 1 of CGST Act, and section 7(1)(d) is related with Schedule 2 of CGST Act. Schedule 2 of CGST Act provides a list of certain activities that is to be treated as supply of goods, and the list of certain activities that is to be treated as supply of services. It means Schedule 2 clearly defines that these are the activities to be treated as supply of goods and these are the activities to be treated as supply of services. There should not be any point of confusion between the goods and the services. Like for example, as you know that before GST there was a confusion on the services of food given by a restaurant, because that was subject to service tax as well as VAT. But under GST the services, the food services provided by restaurant will cover under services only. It is not goods, it is services only. Thus, in order to avoid the confusion of of goods and services, section 7(1)(d) was introduced in CGST that talks about the list of supply of services and talks about the list of supply of goods, so that there should not be any point of confusion between the goods and the services. Now the last one, that is section 7 subsection 2. Section 7 subsection 2 talks about the activities which shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. Section 7.2 is very important because this section talks about the services. These sections talks about the activities that is neither as that will be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. Now, what are those activities? All the activities specified in Schedule 3 of CGST Act, that we need to remember. All the activities specified in Schedule 3 of CGST Act on which GST will not be applicable because that is beyond the scope of CGST, beyond the scope of GST. It means Schedule 3, there are certain activities specified in Schedule 3 on which GST will not be applicable because that is beyond the scope of GST. And along with that, activities or transaction undertaken by the central government, by the state government or any local authorities in which they are engaged in public authorities. Here we need to remember, in which they are engaged in public authorities, public engagement are there, will not be liable to tax under GST. Like for example, government is giving services of panchayats, government is giving services of municipality, that services will not be covered under GST because that will not be treated as goods or services. So three schedules are important here. In section 7.1c, schedule 1 is there that talks about certain activities. These activities are, if these activities are undertaken, even if without consideration, will be treated as supply, but it should be done in course or furtherance of business. Schedule 2 of CGST Act talks about certain activities, the list of goods and the list of services, means the list there, it provides the list of supply of goods and the list of supply of services, so that there could not be any point of confusion between the goods and the services. And Schedule 3 of CGST Act talks about the goods, talks about the activities which shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. Thank you so much.